604 Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane off and running. Brian here with you. John LaBeouf producing. Getting you ready for a Tuesday show. Recapping the first day of the legislative set. Well, okay. Recapping the governor's speech, because that's really about all he gets done on the first day of the legislative session. We're going to do that today. We're going to talk with Jeff Crouere, host of Ringside Politics. We're going to talk with Representative Mike Bayham. We got Chris Meyer from the Baton Rouge Area Foundation stopping by. They've got new tech out at Mary Bird Perkins. We're going to talk about that with Dr. Chris Schneider in the 8 o'clock hour. And I want to hold on to what's going to happen in the with my last guest segment, because it's only semi-confirmed. Starting you off at 61 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge. We're starting you off with top stories and trending. Let's go.
Number 5.
Number 5 starts us off actually out of Lafayette with a state police issuing a child endangerment alert for missing children. The story coming to us from our news partners at WBRZ. They say state police have issued an endangered missing child advisory after a child's mother was involved in a domestic altercation last night. Both children, 2-year-old Kyrie Francis and 3-year-old Crouere Francis, were discovered missing from their home on Bridgeway Drive in Lafayette around 8:30 p.m. yesterday. Their mother, Faith Singleton, is believed to be involved in a domestic altercation with Crouere Francis. That obviously not the little Crouere, but Crouere Francis is believed to be driving a brown 2015 Hyundai Sonata with a Louisiana license plate, accompanied by both children and their mother. So we're on the lookout. Everyone's on the lookout. State police issuing the lookout for the 2015 Hyundai Sonata, license plate Louisiana 532 HG1.
Number 4.
A man accused of killing his 5-year-old daughter 3 years ago now faces more severe charges. 26-year-old Aaron Hawkins was previously charged with second-degree murder and cruelty to juvenile charges in the death of his daughter. Based off of a further review of the evidence, those charges have been upgraded to first-degree murder.
Number 3.
A new initiative by DCFS is encouraging SNAP recipients to make healthier choices. Starting yesterday, SNAP recipients in select parishes, I believe there's 6 parishes, EBR is not one of them, in select parishes will receive a 30-cent bonus for every dollar spent on fresh fruits and vegetables in stores.
Number 2.
Entergy plans to invest $37 billion through 2028 to expand clean energy capacity, strengthen grid resilience, and support rapid industrial growth in Louisiana and across its other service areas in the Gulf South. The investment, highlighted in Entergy's newly released 2024 performance report, will fund improvements in generation, transmission, and distribution infrastructure. Company leaders say the plan positions Entergy to meet rising demand from new industries, particularly data centers.
Number 1.
State highway officials say the Plaquemine Ferry will not operate today, I should say this morning, so that the U.S. Coast Guard can inspect the vessels. The Department of Transportation and Development said the service between Plaquemine and Sunshine will resume once the inspection is over. Trending.
Well, Blue Origin has successfully sent the first all-female crew to space. Among those are Lauren Sanchez, Katy Perry, Amanda Wynn, Asia Bowe, Gail King, and Carrie Ann Flynn return home unharmed after the flight. Came home kissing the ground.
They were gone for like an hour.
I know. They missed it that much.
I mean, all right.
It's a little over.
Took me more time to drive the Bell Chase and back over the weekend.
Well, they made it, Brian. They made it unharmed, so that's good.
Yes,
that's good.
Fantastic.
Yes, it is.
And what was the point of that?
I guess just to say we did.
I suppose.
Was that?
Look, I'm not here to tell people what to do with their disposable income, but man, my wife brought up a great point last night. She said, "How many millions of dollars did that cost? And who could that have fed?"
Yeah,
it's
a good point. Just to say
I
we
agree.
did. Brian, today is tax day.
You done? You got your taxes done?
Oh yeah,
okay,
for sure.
I'm normally pretty good about it. Well, let me rephrase that. I'm normally pretty good because my wife is really good about staying on me about it.
Yeah.
This year, though, we've had some things called into question.
Okay.
And we were, I've got to hit submit. That's all I got to do. I got to hit submit after the show.
Right. Heck yeah.
You TurboTax or do you hire a guy?
So wife works in taxes. So.
Oh, easy peasy.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
H&R Block, if that's
sure.
If we're throwing out names, I don't know. But yeah. So yeah, definitely taken care of. But yeah, encourage everybody else to get those taxes in.
Remember the good old days when 10 o'clock news always had somebody posted up outside the post office?
Yeah.
They were doing the live field report from outside the post office.
Oh.
Well, the last like 5-6 years that they did that, they were just like by themselves. It's like, yes, I'm out here. The internet exists, so I'm lonely.
Right.
Yeah. What else going on?
Another day, Brian, another earthquake report, this time coming from San Diego, where a 6.7 magnitude quake was reported yesterday. That's massive.
It's a lot of them.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a lot of frequency here from a lot of different places.
Yeah. And coming out of San Diego, California in general, that's to be expected.
Yeah.
But the frequency of them,
right?
That's what's alarming. That's where the red flag is raised. So, yeah, unfortunately, they got hit with another.
Do we have reports on casualties?
Not that I'm aware of. I was looking up this morning. I didn't see any, but that could change as time goes on.
611 Talk 107.3 FM mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. About to take a break. Before we do, though, got to remind you about the folks over at Vex European. The phone number for Vex European, 225-800-4706, 225-800-4706. Physical address is 6265 Benefit Drive. Now, I always send you to VexEuropean.com because you'll find the phone number and the address when you get there. But VexEuropean.com is where I send you because when you get to VexEuropean.com, that's V as in Vinny. Once you get there, you learn so much more about what they do and their specialty here. See, they specialize in European vehicles. The BMWs, the McLarens, the Jaguars, the Porsches, the Audis. You got an Alfa Romeo. How cool are Alfa Romeos? You got Alfa Romeo, they can help you out there. Mercedes-Benz, yes, good to go. And I always send you to the website so you can learn what that means because they specialize in that. Basically, you know how your doctor walks around with your chart? Well, you're going to be paired with a technician that's going to follow your vehicle. So hit up VexEuropean.com and then hit up that little appointments tab. Set up your appointment today with Vinny and his team celebrating 1 decade in the business over at Vex European. No. Just tired, that's all. I've gotta figure out a way to sleep at night. Pills don't work. Alcohol's not working.
Is it insomnia or just?
I don't know.
Or just keeping busy until you just crash?
I don't know. Doesn't help that for the hour and 15 minutes before the show starts, I'm sitting up there in my office at like 92 degrees. So hot on the third floor.
Oh. Sheesh. There's no thermostat up there, huh? Or is it just goes throughout the building? There's no thermostat up there, huh?
Yeah, it's in Rivers' office. Oh, I forgot to send you.
Oh, you got some cuts here?
Yeah, shit. I'm gonna send them separately just to make sure you get one, and then you can get the other.
Okay. All right, got it. First one.
I don't have the 7th overall pick. Dang it. All right, screw it.
So just go with that one.
Yeah. .616 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. LSU baseball will be back at it tonight in the box, taking on McNeese. Oh, sorry, I blanked right there. Taking on McNeese. McNeese actually doing pretty well in the Southland Conference right now. LSU obviously needing to bring those bats back to life. I mean, it's been definitely a hitting slump for LSU baseball right now. This is what you call a get right game. I do feel bad for McNeese. While they're 11-4, they're 26-5 overall, 11-4 in the Southland Conference play, which is all fine and good, but they're rolling into a box to take on an LSU team that's A, been on the road for 7 games, and B, has some things to correct, has some things to remedy, and is going to be looking to take it out on, I don't know, a Southland Conference team. 6:30 p.m. is your first pitch. Pregame will begin at 6. Chris Blair will be on the call on our sister station, Eagle 98.1. No midweek game for Beth Torina's Tigers in softball. They don't play again until their Thursday, Friday, Saturday series gets cranking. So while LSU men get to rebound or start to rebound from getting swept last weekend, the softball Tigers do not. They're going to have to wait until Thursday. Meanwhile, last night was a big night. The WNBA draft. As expected, number 1 overall, being picked by the Dallas Wings. Well, let's hear it.
With the first pick in the 2025 WNBA draft, the Dallas Wings select Paige Beckers, University of Connecticut.
No real shock there. Everybody knew Paige Beckers was going to be the number 1 overall pick going in the draft, and she was the number 1 overall pick in the draft. After Paige Beckers, you had a woman from France, Dominique Malanga, then Sonia Citron from Notre Dame. Got to get down to the 7th overall pick is where you're going to find at the 7th overall pick, Anissa Morrow. That's where Anissa went. 7th. Oh, shoot. My computer just froze on me and I can't even scroll. Dead gummit. Anissa went 7th overall to the Connecticut Sun. And shoot, I'm so sorry. I'm trying to do this on memory now because my computer froze. Haley Van Lith went in the first round. Former LSU Tiger, then transferred to TCU. Haley Van Lith went in the first round as well. Here we go. All right, got it back. 11th overall to the Chicago Sky. So Haley Van Lith now heading over there to play with Angel Reese. So yeah, Anissa Morrow did go in the first round. After that, LSU, I mean, didn't have a whole lot to go last night, which also means they've got a lot coming back. But Anissa was the only LSU Tiger selected in last night's draft. Don't forget, the Dreams Come True Radiothon continues over at talk1073.com. Of course, presented by the Baton Rouge Clinic, bringing you to the 2025 Dreams Come True Radiothon. It's an organization, Dreams Come True is an organization designed to help grant dreams for children with life-threatening illnesses and their families. The following local businesses have also pledged to match your donations throughout the month: Lewis Mechanical, Patient Plus, and Action Industries, plus Subaru of Baton Rouge, Service Chevrolet, Luba, and Duplessis Builders. Make your donations now at talk1073.com. Here comes the Fox Business Report. We'll continue next. um, Heading back to the Shawbills Tire Traffic Center. Let's go look at your interstates to start things off. And it's about the norm on I-12 westbound coming in from Denham Springs. You're going to see some slowdowns by Range Avenue. You're going to see some congestion once you get around O'Neill Lane, and literally that's all that's going on. There's smooth sailing on 10 westbound coming in from Ascension Parish, looking good, coming in from West Baton Rouge Parish as well. And I-110 is also looking good, as are both bridges. We told you about the Plaquemine Ferry, going to be down this morning as it's going to be inspected. So if you normally take that ferry, of course, take an alternate route this morning. Surface streets, we've got nothing going on. No accidents reporting to surface streets. That's the look at traffic from the Shawbills Tire Traffic Center. I just can't shake it, man. It's weird. Can't get it back. The voice, it's just still scratchy. 624, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. We're going to get you into the legislative session here in just a minute, or actually the governor's address is really all that's happened so far. Before that, though, got to remind you about the folks over at Cajun Soft Wash. CajunSoftWash.com is the website. CajunSoftWash.com. Now's the time, y'all. As the weather starts trending towards warmer temperatures, you get a week like this week where you're in between raindrops. You're not going to see any rain this week. It's a great week to get the folks from Cajun Soft Wash out to your house or out to your business. put that safe and effective chemical blend on your walls, on your roof, on your sidewalk. Clean things up. Get rid of that algae. Get rid of that mold. Get rid of that mildew. Make it all nice for the upcoming summer season here. Don't let wear and tear of the weather be detrimental to the actual physical structure of your building. Not to mention the fact you want to put your best foot forward, have things looking right. That's what spring cleaning is all about. Catch them at CajunSoftwash.com. A lot of fun yesterday going out to the state capitol. Me and Moon Griffon doing a show from 11 to 1. I say that. It was me for most of the time. Moon had to go have a little chat with the governor. And look, I'm not going to disclose any details of said chat. I don't even know how much Moon actually told me. But I do know that the governor's going to want to have a billion conversations over the next month or two when it comes to insurance and insurance reform, because he firmly believes he has the answer here. Now, his answers do cross over with the insurance commissioner's answers from time to time, actually more often than you think. But there are a few key points where they differ. I actually want to start on one that I really, really like. And if you were listening at all yesterday to the midday show when we had State Representative Kim Carver on, you already know where I'm going with this. Kim Carver's got a bill that affects the way lawyers can advertise. Hit me with Jeff Landry number 1, please.
I've shared key statistics and data indicating problem areas. Our accident frequency and repair costs align with the national average. Our injury severity, which was shocking to me, is below the national average. However, our minor injury claims are nearly double the national average.
Why is that?
This suggests a culture driven by lawyer advertising that requires a correction.
What is that culture that's driven by lawyer advertising? How can lawyers in their advertising affect their culture? It's a great question. And Kim Carver, if you missed it, by the way, it's available on demand in our legislative section over at talk1073.com. We've got a section built out just for this. There's going to be so much going on over there over the next 2 months that we're funneling all the content into one section for you, courtesy of Lake Urgent Care. But what is it about this culture that we have this many minor injuries? We have this many just, hey, you got a neck brace? Okay, borrow mine. Like there's a lot of that here. Why do we have it here more than anywhere else? How is it that this can be affected or changed just simply by changing up advertising? Well, here's Landry cut 2.
I support the legislation to restrict attorney advertising that promises monetary outcomes through dubious testimonies and deceptive claims for fantastic monetary awards. Heather had that bill. The last governor vetoed it. Send it up to me. I'll sign it.
He's talking about Heather Cloud. State Senator Heather Cloud had that bill about 5 years ago. And yeah, Governor John Bel Edwards did veto it. I don't like the way the governor phrased that, though. I got to tell you. Play cut 2 again. I'll tell you where to cut it off.
I support the legislation to restrict attorney advertising that promises monetary outcomes through dubious testimonies.
I don't see this bill as restricting advertising. This bill enhances advertising. If someone wants to stand on TV and say, XYZ attorney got me a check, that's more than fine and good. But they have to add to that and say, okay, but here's how much I'm taking home. They can say all day long, I got a check for $500,000. But they have to add to that, enhance it, and say, but here's what I'm actually taking home. Love it. Love the idea. If you were to see an advertisement for, let's just pick some, let's say Matherns, okay? Now, I want to be 100% clear right now. Matherns is not giving away anything today. All right? But if Matherns around Thanksgiving time said turkeys are free, and then you showed up to Matherns and they said, yeah, if you buy 2, you get 1 free, you'd be a little pissed about that. You should be, because it's false advertising. They told you about the free part. They didn't tell you about the part that cost you something. And the advertising, the way it is right now, the way the rules are set for what they could say with the attorneys is, I could say the part of the whole sum of the case, but I don't have to tell you what I paid for it. Kim Carver's bill will remedy that. And I remember the last time they tried to affect advertising. This is a bad play across the board. And all we came out with it was like lawyers have to put their bar numbers on the end of a commercial. What a waste of time. This one, I feel, is much more effective. I feel like we're getting somewhere, and it can, I'm not saying it will, but it can affect that jackpot justice mentality. Here's news. Morning, Christy. Welcome in, sweetheart. All right, I gotta keep walking around a little bit. Oh no, I gotta shoot. Okay.
Speaking of Mars Bar, you ever saw the kid who had a Mars Bar birthday themed party?
No.
It's pretty wild.
You ever seen the Big Frida Juan LaFonta commercial?
No.
Literally, all she does is stand in a boxing ring saying Juan LaFonta over and over again.
Okay.
Juan LaFonta is an injury attorney down the world.
I figured that much,
but yeah,
that's it.
it's terrible. It's just her going Juan LaFonta, Juan LaFonta, Juan LaFonta, Juan LaFonta, Juan LaFonta,
and that's exactly. But it's catchy. It's in your head now. The earworm.
Well, I thought I heard Big Frida at the crawfish cook-off. I was out on Saturday. No, seriously, as we were leaving the late game, we weren't going back over there. As we were leaving the late game, you hear up on stage, that bounce music was going.
Yeah.
I was obviously a DJ playing Big Frida, but
Could have been, man.
yeah, Big Frida ain't coming to the bell chase. My guy Deloney. Yesterday certainly felt cooler than the temperature was. Is that trend going to continue? Here's the McKay Cowan. Clouds. Juan LaFonta. It was the worst commercial I've ever seen. And at the end, the best commercial I've ever seen at the same time.
Yeah.
It's just Big Freed in a boxing ring. .637 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. 61 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge. Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Every Tuesday we check in with our good friend from right down I-10 in New Orleans, Jeff Crouere, host of Ringside Politics. He's on with us now. Jeff, how are you, brother?
Hey, good morning, Brian. Doing great.
Glad to have you on this morning. I want to get to the opening day of the legislative session, which really just amounts to the governor's State of the State address, because nothing else gets done on opening day. But before that, I kind of want to rewind the clock back to last weekend. All the headlines coming out of French Quarter Fest were about the shooting that happened after it. But by all accounts, remarkable French Quarter Fest this weekend. Give me your recap.
No, we were there. I was there with my wife, and we enjoyed, because the radio station is right there, on the outskirts of it, and we enjoyed ourselves. We went down there on Sunday and spent a few hours roaming around, enjoying some of the music, just checking out some of the scenes. I thought the crowds were good. The music's always great. The weather was fantastic. It is a shame that you have to end such a good event with, the kind of news that came out of this, shooting. And it's just, it happens a lot for these great events where you have, a fantastic time, and then you have something like that marred. And no doubt about it, got the headlines, and not a good way to end what was a really fantastic weekend.
Well, and at the same time, though, the French Quarter Festival wasn't the only festival to be marred by headlines. If you go to the North Shore, Ponchatoula Strawberry Festival had the same thing on Saturday night, but yet New Orleans is obviously much bigger than Ponchatoula, but y'all, for some reason, the French Quarter Fest headlines are going to reign supreme over Tangipahoa Parish, which, by the way, I don't know, but I don't know statistics, but it feels like Tangipahoa Parish is in a bad way right now when it comes to the shootings. They're popping up a lot more than they should be.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't been to the to the fest over there in a while, so I really can't give you a view as to what's going on with their criminal justice system, their public safety issues. But I'll tell you, for New Orleans, obviously this is a familiar story. A guy shooting into a crowd, injuring 5 people. He's now being held without bail, pending a hearing. So it's all too familiar story. I do think that, with this mayor's race coming up, crime is still going to be, even though we've made progress, even though we've seen a decline, it's still going to be the foremost issue that people are going to be asking Helene Moreno about, and Oliver Thomas. What Thomas said on my Politics with a Punch recently was that he wants to turn the police chief into an elected position, which has both its detractors and supporters. So we'll see how that plays with the electorates.
How does that work? Because the sheriff is already an elected position, correct?
The sheriff is an elected position. I guess he wants to turn the police chief into an elected position as well. He talked about how he thinks Jefferson does well with their sheriff being elected, and all those responsibilities are in the and so it's not a split situation like it is in Orleans Parish. Joe LaPinto has all those powers, and is elected by the people. So historically, the police chief has been appointed by the mayor,
Mm-hmm.
and then he sees that as being too political, and that's under the thumb of the mayor. He wants to give the people that authority to elect, who's police chief. But then again, that turns that into a political position.
No kidding.
And let's just say this. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, the voters haven't been making very good decisions, have they? I mean, they put Toy Cantrell in the office 2 times.
Yeah.
They elected Susan Hudson, the sheriff, who is, not had a very good report card and has got serious opposition. So we'll see. It'll be an interesting issue. But overall, other than this tragedy that happened at the end, I mean, it really was, I think, a successful French Quarter Festival. I always enjoy it because the weather's always better.
Yeah.
You go to the Jazz Fest
Jazz
a
Fest
little
too
bit later
hot.
on,
Right.
and it's just so hot and sticky, and everybody's there, and sometimes you get mud, and it's just rain, and the French Quarter Festival is free, which is just the amazing thing about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and not just free, but a lot more locals there. I mean, Jazz Fest is great to bring people in from all over the world. French
Right.
Quarter Fest is great to just kind of, stretch out a little bit and have New Orleans enjoy New Orleans for a weekend.
And I saw a lot of people I knew down there. There were a lot of people that were roaming around there with, with their spouses and so forth, and enjoying it. So, yeah, you're right. It's more of a local thing, and really was a lot of fun.
I was down your way over the weekend. I was in Belchase. How often do you get over the other side of the river?
Every now and then. It's been a while since I've been in Belchase.
Yeah, down there for an AAU basketball tournament. Meanwhile, right outside the Plaquemines Parish Multi-Sports Complex, there was a crawfish cook-off going on. Jeff, you want to talk about celebrating exactly what Louisiana's all about? Seeing
Right.
all the factories and plants and everything from up and down the river, all the Triads and the Turners and the Venture Globals and all these competing in a crawfish cook-off going on right outside a basketball tournament that's inside. So like you got the junior high girls playing basketball, and then you got like Zydeco music and swamp pop music on a stage right outside. I can tell you this, and mark my words on this one, Jeff. The Plaquemines Parish Sheriff, way better of a crawfish cook than the Plaquemines Parish President. Mark it down, note the tape. Fighting words right there, but I called it out. All right, we got.
Well, I mean,
go for it.
That just goes to show you the quality of life down here. With the music, the food.
Yes.
I mean, the people. I mean, it's all right there, right, Brian?
Yeah, I mean, it was literally right next to the parking lot. So, all right,
Mm-hmm.
the state capitol. We got business to tend to. State capitol. Everything got underway yesterday. Your takeaways from the governor's opening speech.
The governor's took a blow. I mean, he's got to regain his footing here, and it's going to be an interesting session to see how things go here. I mean, we've got till June the 12th. We already have looks like a showdown between the governor and the insurance commissioner, and be interesting to see how much of what happened with the votes the other day with the turning down of those amendments is going to be translated into legislative action. I mean, obviously the governor's happy about, he says he's maintained fiscal discipline. He was very complimentary and boastful about his tax cuts. Said they reduced, state funding by $1 million. So, he's defending his record after, a tough election. And I saw some poll numbers, and I mean, he's really pretty much a 50-50 governor right now as far as support and opposition. And that's not where you want to be.
No, not this early on in your tenure, to be sure. And are we having trouble keeping like the whole picture in front of us, Jeff? Moon and I discussed this the other day, actually, talking about economic development. We're nothing but wins right now. Criminal justice, Troop NOLA's a success, and Baton Rouge is up next. So we've got nothing but positive things to say on that front. Tax reform, we've seen it, and we've been able to experience. There's been so many wins on so many different fronts. But this one,
Right.
this insurance front, this one item right here, we're getting fixated on because it's like everyone's rowing in the same direction until you get to this one spot in the river. And we can't get
Yeah.
past the spot in the river. But are we throwing the baby out with the bathwater if we're going to hate on the governor who's got like a 9-1 record right now, the one being 9-2 if you count the amendment. But like we're in a bowl game and we're in contention for the playoff at this point. There's a lot of
Right.
wins that are being overlooked because of the one loss.
Yeah, but of course the one loss is recent in our memory, and it was dramatic. It was a dramatic loss. It was an overwhelming loss. So I think that does play large. But the wins, you're right about the wins. He's had some major economic development victories. Those take time to translate into revenue for the state, jobs. Make the announcement, but then they've got to implement it all, and that takes a while. So it's going to be some lag time before that turns into really positive results for the governor. So he is head and shoulders above anybody else as far as those kind of deals. That are very, very, very significant. So you're right. He needs to be given tremendous credit for that. And I can tell you, Troop NOLA has been a big difference as far as New Orleans. No doubt about that too. So I give him credit for focusing on New Orleans when he didn't have to.
Mm-hmm.
An area that didn't vote for him, an area that came out against him big time on the elections the other day. But despite all of that, he has really put in the time and resources to help the city of New Orleans, which I appreciate. So you're right. I mean, I think overall you certainly see more wins and losses, but the last one was a big loss.
Yeah, absolutely. Give me one off the radar item you're keeping your eyes on during this session.
There's a debanking bill that could be interesting, about some folks that have been thrown out of their accounts because of conservative ideology. I know the Bankers Association is going to be concerned about that. That'll be one. And then I'm going to be looking for all these carbon capture issues, because that's another sort of hot topic and generating lots of interest. So those would be two of the many, many areas, of course, going to be following. And there's so many interesting bills that'll be debated.
See, the carbon capture ones are going to garner a lot of attention for sure. And do y'all have any? What kind of carbon capture projects y'all have down there? I know, there's a bunch going on in Lake Maurepas and whatnot. But does New Orleans have any big deals in your backyard?
I don't think there are any in our backyard here. I know you got a big one in Vernon Parish where you have a lot of debate about that. But I mean,
going back to the West Bank, it already feels like General de Gaulle's going to fall out from under you as you drive on it. So, I don't think you want to put CO2 down there anyway. You got a show to get to. He's Jeff Crouere. We always appreciate the time, brother. Talk to you next week.
Okay, Brian. Take care.
Right, later on. 6:50. Here comes your money now. The hell, Nicole Murray? No. That's the way it should. That's. No, you did right. It's my clock's getting off again.
Oh.
I'm going to get more coffee. Seriously.
Fix me a little something while you're doing it.
You need a little refresh?
Yeah, I didn't get it.
Oh shit, I got you.
You sure? I was just joking, but I'll take it. I'll take it black too. Yeah, I'll just take it. Thank you. Nope. Or give me two little French vanilla cream. You got it. Thank you. Oh no. appreciate it. Thank you.
Hate that.
Oh, no. Oh,
You said 2 French vanillas, but they
Yeah.
only had 1 French
you're
vanilla, so I didn't know if you want
You're
to
good.
go lighter across the street.
No, you're good. You're good. Thank you.
You're very
I
well.
appreciate it.
No.
Yeah, when I went down there, I got sidetracked with the.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering why you didn't have it. It's like,
Yeah.
gotta handle your business, man. All right, do we do insurance commissioner or do we do Housley presumption? Let's do insurance commissioner here. 4 and 5, please.
Okay.
Make it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Wait, what's that?
Yeah, we got a minute.
Show. Shoot.
See, I've been saying it for years, and I'm right. I've been saying it for years, and all you feel good people, oh, that's offensive. You shouldn't be saying it. I told you I was right. And they're confirming it. Because now they got to motivate them to buy vegetables and fruits. It's not that they weren't available, even when they're available. Quit with this food desert. You could have boudin crackers and fruit and vegetables, and they're going to buy the boudin crackers. Now they're going to give them a 30% boom if they buy vegetables and fruit, which means you got to motivate them to buy vegetables and fruit. So there's no such thing as food desert. Even when the food, the vegetables, and the fruit's there, they don't buy it. And then you got to give them 30 cents to buy it.
Those are the same thing.
It is the same thing. When the fruit and the vegetables are there, they still don't buy it. Then you got to give them 30 cents on $1 to buy it.
Yeah.
So stop. That's ridiculous. I've been saying this crap for years.
But if you are gonna do it, you should get it from Mathern's.
You ever
Yes.
see somebody on Snap who's anorexic? Hell no, you don't.
I got nothing.
You know, when Conan comes in, it's
He's like
he's already had a
traffic report.
conversation
Yeah.
before he's got to you.
Oh, you're not necessary for that conversation.
no.
No. That's not even an AB conversation. That's just a RC conversation. He's the only one that's needed for that conversation.
So he comes in fired up.
All right.
And
So
we're
if you're
like,
watching us on Facebook Live, you got a nice little rant on SNAP benefits being added to buying healthier food, which is I wouldn't even get to that today.
right.
I should have known when I walked in the building this morning that if I'm talking insurance, added benefits to buy healthy food on SNAP was going to be the top of his agenda.
Oh, for sure.
That's on me. I could have had him down here for a full segment on it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, poor Scott's winded. So, oh man,
Shaking it off right now.
it's good that if you're on Facebook Live, that was on Facebook Live, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, just making sure it wasn't a muted mic.
Oh, no.
Okay,
No,
if
Mike's
you're on
hot.
Facebook Live, you're welcome. Actually, you know what? I'm not the one to say you're welcome. You can thank the folks at Lake Urgent Care because they're the ones that bring you the Facebook Live feed every day.
There you go.
If you're listening on air, you're totally lost, and I apologize. It took me a minute to recoup right there. All right, let's get back into it. Coming out of the first day of the legislative session, yes, insurance was a huge priority. But whose priority should it be? Cut 4.
Will the rates go down? Because I said time and time again, we've swallowed it. They told us nothing happens. Our people complain to us. We come back, nothing happens. It will only make a difference. All of your work will only make a difference if we give our insurance department the power to lower rates like they do in Mississippi. I believe it's time that the Commission of Insurance should have the authority to reject excessive rates, not just inadequate ones.
Wait. You're telling me the insurance commissioner could just dictate rates? Oh, I've got to learn more. I've got to, well, because I always thought that the insurance commissioner, and this isn't just Tim Temple, this was Jim Donnellan before him and, the previous people that went to jail, but like the insurance commissioner can make sure that everybody's playing right in the sandbox to where there's room for the insurance company to want to do business. See, insurance companies are for-profit businesses. They don't have to do business here. So if you step in and tell them what's what, they can say, I'm going to take my ball and go home. And oh, by the way, when you live in a state that gets devastated by hurricanes year after year after year, and you have people that fight fortified roof programs, if I'm that insurance company, then I'm saying, well, I'm gonna take a big L on the homeowners front. Why would I stick around on the other front? Hit me up with cut 5 real quick.
This proposed legislation expands the commissioner's oversight by removing legal exemptions and requiring rate filings for more than just informational purposes. These changes will enable the commissioner to assess and reject excessive rates, regardless of market conditions, by removing public hearings, the barriers to public hearings, and shifting the burden of proof. I said it earlier, it works in Mississippi.
Okay, so let's do the most informed research we have at our fingertips and ask AI to answer the question. Does the Mississippi Insurance Commissioner determine insurance rates? AI says no. The Mississippi Insurance Commissioner does not directly set insurance rates. Insurance companies submit their rate requests to the insurance department, and the commissioner reviews the requests along with input from the actuary and the department staff. So it's not as easy as Governor Landry made it sound, but what he's talking about is possible. We'll continue next hour. It's 7 o'clock. Oh. Really can't believe I referenced Jersey Shore when talking to Moon and Kim Carver yesterday. It's a spot on comparison, but they had no clue.
I had no idea. And that's I don't know. Is Jersey Shore, is that still a thing?
They're still doing the reunions. Like they'll
Oh.
get back together for 2 weeks at a time and live way too vicariously through them.
Yeah. Jersey Shore, you live vicariously.
Yes.
Oh man. That's so good.
What's .705 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Hour 2 coming your way right now. Brian here with you. John LaBeouf producing. We are starting off our second hour, holding at 61 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge. Busy hour this hour. State Representative Mike Bayham going to join us in our next segment, and Chris Meyer from the Baton Rouge Area Foundation coming up at 7:35. Looking forward to both those conversations. I'm going to talk with Mike Bayham about opening day of the legislative session, what he plans on working on throughout this session, and really about the tone, right? Part of that class of 23, which, got to tell you, I'm expecting big things from. You know what? That's coming up later on in the show. We're going to talk about that at 7:55. Right now, though, top stories and trending. Let's get it. Get it. Get it.
Number 5.
A man accused of killing his 5-year-old daughter 3 years ago now faces more severe charges. 26-year-old Aaron Hawkins, previously charged with second-degree murder and cruelty to juvenile charges in the death of his daughter. Based off a further review of the evidence, the charge has been upgraded to first-degree murder.
Number 4.
A new office park is coming to Jefferson Highway across from the Exchange at Jefferson. A building permit was issued last week. I'm grabbing this one from the Daily Report. A building permit was issued last week for the first of 2 buildings in the development. The building will comprise 8,655 square feet, divided into roughly office space and shell space for a future tenant as well. Ritter Marr Architects is listed as the applicant. Had contractors also working on the project, but it was an abandoned residential site of about 1.8 acres, and if you're driving up Jefferson Highway, you know exactly where it is, and it is a much-needed upgrade.
Number 3.
A new initiative by DCFS is encouraging SNAP recipients to make healthier choices, alert Condon. Starting yesterday, SNAP recipients in select parishes will receive a 30-cent bonus for every $1 on fresh fruits and vegetables at certain stores in the parish. I believe Walmart's a big participant in this one.
Number 2.
Entergy plans to invest $37 billion through 2028 to expand clean energy capacity, strengthen grid resilience, and support rapid industrial growth in the state and across its other service areas in the Gulf South. The investment, highlighted in Entergy's newly released 2024 performance report, will fund improvements in generation, transmission, and distribution infrastructure. Company leaders say the plan positions Entergy to meet rising demand from new industries, particularly data centers.
Number 1.
State highway officials say the Plaquemine Ferry will not operate this morning so the U.S. Coast Guard can inspect the vessels. The Department of Transportation and Development said the service between Plaquemine and Sunshine will resume once said inspection is over. What's trending, John?
Well, returning to the Earth from the Blue Origin
Baby,
launch.
you're a firework.
That song would have had a completely different meaning if things would have went
I
sideways.
know.
We discussed this,
I
right?
know. I was
And
worried.
I'll give you
I was
credit for
so
that.
worried.
I was like, Brian, that's a little dark, but you know what?
Like a dark horse.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, they came back home like a teenage dream. Katy Perry
Love
went
it.
to space, y'all.
Yes. Along with Lauren Sanchez, which is the fiance of
Jeff
Bezos.
Yeah, Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
Whatever.
oh,
Who cares?
man, Gail
Gail
King.
King's in that number.
Yeah.
She's probably picking up the tab on this one.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Seems like it.
Yeah.
Seems like
You think they split that check evenly?
you know. But Brian, I love the conspiracy theories. I love the fact that there are people that are like, they didn't go to space. I love that.
They were there for 11 minutes.
Were they though? Did they go? Was that?
Where else would they go?
I know.
I mean,
right?
they were within
But I
sight.
can't believe like even
They were
doing-
within sight the
Yeah.
whole time.
Even the conspiracy theorists are like, the conspiracy theorists are just That to me is fun.
Yeah.
I like going down that rabbit hole as well.
You should talk to Bo, Chief Engineer Bo Wegman.
Really?
He's your guy. He's
Bo,
your
we should
guy.
have a conversation.
And he knows so much.
He really does.
He's
I will
he's
say
like
that.
so well informed on things that you're not prepared to discuss.
I'm never prepared. He'll just come in and drop some knowledge, and it's just like, and he just walks out.
Yeah.
I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this, Bo?
Right.
I know you're listening, Bo, right?
Yeah. No,
Hit me up. Hit me up when you get in the studio.
Yesterday, as we're setting up for that 11 o'clock show, for the pregame show yesterday, he's just hitting me with all this about like
while he's setting up.
Yeah,
he's doing
just
all this
talking
technical
to me about
stuff.
all these new World Trade Center videos that are out now, and I'm like, Bo, you're killing me, man. He's like, I'm not telling you if I believe it or not. I'm just saying it's out there.
Right.
Like, how do you?
That's
you
how I
have
feel about
children.
this.
How do you have children and time?
Yeah. Doesn't seem like you would have. Yeah. Two things wouldn't coexist, right?
Yeah.
Brian, today is tax day. Today is the day.
Yeah, it is.
All your taxes. Get 'em
It
in.
is. Normally, I'm done by now.
Yeah.
It's gonna take me about 5 minutes after the show to finish up. I've got everything done. We owe a little bit of money on top of everything that we've paid all year. Whatever.
I know. Oh, man.
I hate tax day.
I know.
I hate tax day so
I'm
much.
with you.
And you don't even have the benefit of like getting your taxes done, like the old school way when you would put it in the mail.
Right.
You'd have that printed 1040. You'd put it in the mail. You'd tune into the 10 o'clock news, and they'd have their field reporter out there.
How the times have changed, right?
Yeah. Now the field reporters can be all by themselves.
Yeah.
Hoping not to, just standing by an empty mailbox, just hoping for somebody to come by.
Somebody.
It's not a vagrant.
Yeah.
You dropping off your taxes? No, I live in that box.
Ooh. Oh man.
No.
Hey, coming out of San Diego today, there's another earthquake report.
Yeah. Saw that.
6.7 magnitude quake was reported yesterday.
So this is like getting to be a daily occurrence, right?
Right.
We're having basically earthquakes in the news from somewhere other every single day. What was it? Myanmar was 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
That was the one that killed hundreds of people.
Absolutely insane.
Had the effects were felt over like a building fell in Bangkok.
Yeah.
And
the
now,
silver lining here is that there was no there's no major damage or of injuries at the moment. So that's the silver lining in it. But you're right. We're seeing a lot more of this, these frequent occurrences with earthquakes.
At least 7 aftershocks were reported along with this. I don't know how to react because it's nowhere near us. We're not used to earthquakes. We don't know from one way or the other. We talk about earthquakes in terms of a loud Tiger Stadium, sit in our bag.
Right. But more frequent though.
Yep. 712 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. We are going to connect with State Representative Mike Bayham in our next segment. Before we break, though, got to remind you about the folks at Landmark Bank. LandmarkBankLA.com is the website. LandmarkBankLA.com if you wanted to check them out. In 1897, Landmark Bank was founded as a community bank. In 2025, Landmark Bank is a community bank. Imagine that. Sticking to your mission for over 100 years. sticking to your mission while growing at the same time. Look, there's a number of different locations of Landmark Bank. If you want to check them out, I recommend hitting up landmarkbank.com, landmarkbankla.com. You'll find the list of locations. For example, their newest location is on the other side of the river. It's in Brewley, 4687 Highway 1 South. You'll find them in Zachary. You'll find them in Denham. You'll find them in Greensburg, Clinton, wherever. And what you're going to get with Landmark Bank is every bit of technology, every bit of availability that you would get from one of the international banks. But you're also going to have a banker, someone who knows what your dreams are, knows what your plans are, and can help you achieve them. Check them out online, landmarkbankla.com. I don't know.
I mean,
I'm a TurboTax guy as well, Galen. And what I like best about TurboTax, and I really wish I could get my wife to like relax on this one. Christy is very much she does right. She doesn't skirt the law.
Right.
She doesn't cut corners. If left to my own devices, like our taxes would look much different. But I play it straight.
Yeah.
We owe money because of that. But TurboTax offers that audit scan where will you be subject to an audit? Are you protected from an audit? Obviously you're not protected, but they give you the big green check mark saying you look good. That's my favorite thing about them.
Man, we got audited, I think 2 or 3 years ago. That kind of stuff. But yeah. Byron, I'm kind of impressed too at Brian's knowledge of Katy Perry songs. But you do DJing and stuff, right? I mean, you're
I also have 2 teenage daughters.
That is true. And I guess I would know the hits.
You have Bayham's phone number?
I don't think so. I guess I would know the hits. Not good at pulling them together like that. Let me double check my contacts here. No, I don't.
.716 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Yesterday at the state capitol, things were gavelled in at noon. Good hour went by of House Speaker Philip de Villiers doling bills out to committees. Then the governor took to the podium at 1 o'clock. About 3 minutes after 1 for his address to open things up. Okay, sorry, 7:17. All right. I was texting my next guest. He's we're having some trouble connecting with State Representative Mike Bayham. The governor took to the podium at about 1 o'clock and really opened things up. Gave his hour-long State of the State speech, talking about what his plans are, what his agenda is. We've been talking heavily on insurance, and so the way I was going to break this down was go by topic per day, right? Insurance would be the topic of today because that's the biggest one. That's on everybody's minds. That's the biggest one that we're all looking at right now. All right. And since it is, that's what we're going to be talking about. State Representative Mike Bayham joins us. How are you, sir?
Doing fine. How are you, Brian?
Doing very well as well. So take me inside the Capitol. Yes, well, I was inside the Capitol yesterday, but take me inside the House chambers where the governor gave his speech. Walk me through just the feel of the whole thing.
Well, the big hot topic was going to be what the governor was going to say about insurance reform, because that's the biggest crisis we have facing Louisiana. And to be brutally honest, We had 3 special sessions last year, and insurance should have been one of them. Should have been the first one, truth be told. And the fact that it was, just the remedies that were proposed, were just run through the regular session versus the other ones, was disappointing.
Yeah.
And it did not recognize the priorities of the people of Louisiana and why we were elected. And I'm glad to see that we really seem to be tackling this head on, finally. But, we dealt with reapportionment, which I voted against the bill that came out of that. And we dealt with the fiscal stuff, which is important. But let's be brutally honest, I think people would rather cut their insurance rate than they would their taxes. It probably would put a lot more money in their pocket. But we were waiting to see what the governor had to say, and he said what he said, and I think it was a 90-minute speech, so it was pretty long. But hey, it is what it is on that front. But yeah, I mean, it just. We all have our bills filed, and we're hoping to get something that works to bring premiums down for auto and property in Louisiana.
We saw last year, and even with not having a special session, I thought it was remarkable how much got done on the homeowners insurance front last year. I think y'all did a remarkable job on covering a lot of ground, fortifying roofs, making the market more palatable for insurance companies to want to do business here, setting things up so Tim Temple could do his job on that front. It's the car insurance front that we just can't seem to get past, Mike. Is it stacking up for that to be different this year?
Well, first of all, a lot of credit does need to go to Commissioner Tim Temple.
Oh, yeah.
Who spent as much time in the legislature as some of my colleagues. I mean, it got to a point where I jokingly referred to him as Senator Temple. And Gabe Ferment, the chairman of House Insurance, and Senator Talbot on the Senate side, they really did a good job as well. They should definitely have their efforts recognized. So there was a big push from the legislative side. We did produce a lot of bills, a lot of new laws, and we're hoping that the impacts of those laws will be felt this year. But part of the problem is beyond our control on property because we are so exposed on the Gulf Coast. So much of the Louisiana coastline, faces the Gulf versus, say, Mississippi, which is about 70 miles of coastline. But and their topography is completely different. The water rolls in there and it rolls out. Well, here, if it rolls in, it's stuck there until we blow a levee or pump the water out. But yeah, I mean, we're optimistic that we have a lot of bills that are going to be brought up this session on insurance, and this is going to be a heavy lift on insurance. So the legislature is working very hard to tackle these issues because, I mean, we're all feeling it, personally and our constituents as well.
Have you had a chance to dig in on any of your colleagues' bills when it comes? You've got one insurance bill, but it doesn't talk about either homeowners or car insurance. But have you had a chance to dig in on any of your colleagues' bills that would address these issues?
Yeah, I've gone through and I've met with some of my colleagues on it, and I know Representative Brian Glorioso's got a pretty good one, and I know Representative Mellerine's got some good bills as well. So we got to see what gets out of committee. Almost all of the legislators utilized their 5 bills that are non-fiscal related. So there's a lot to take in, and we'll see what gets out of the respective insurance committees on both sides.
Got Michael Mellerine slated to join me tomorrow. I believe in this segment actually, because his bill is one of the ones he's got is going to move the needle, to be sure.
Well, Michael's been he's a freshman, he's a young man, but I tell you what, he's hit the ground running, and Michael's a sharp guy, and I know he's fearless on pushing the agenda to try to make things affordable for Louisianians, and a lot of us were very proud of what he did last year. We're going to back him up this year.
State Representative Mike Bayham is with us, representing St. Bernard Parish. You mentioned something right there that, if I'm being completely honest, Mike, is going to be an underlying theme of this whole session. When you reference Representative Mallory, you said he's a freshman. You're in the same class as him. Y'all have the class of 23 is poised to just, kick the entire Capitol over this year. Y'all had baptism by fire last year with 3 specials in a regular session. And now, as I understand it, there's a level of communication between y'all. There's a level of, I don't want to say full on fraternity between y'all, but understanding, to be sure that we are poised y'all are poised as a class to really move the state forward. Can you talk to me a little bit about that relationship that y'all have? Just y'all all came in together looking to do good, and the honeymoon's not over.
Well, some of us knew each other in advance of getting elected. Bamberg and I, Shreveport, we served on the Republican committee.
Yep.
Stephanie Burrell and Kim Carver were both in the Great New Orleans Republicans. Brian Gloriosa and I went to high school together. So, a lot of us did know each other going into it, but independent of that, if a lot of our backgrounds, we all ran not because we were recruited, but we had the gumption to try to do our part to change Louisiana. And when I was running, and they had these committees that want to meet with the candidates, and they said, "Well, why are you running?" And I point blank said something that kind of took them by surprise, but I meant every word of it. Because I know a lot of these people running for the legislature. I'm excited the fact that that these people are going to be getting elected, and I want to be part of that team because I've known these people for a long time, 20 years or longer, and these are impressive people. They're professionals. We have a diverse background. Some of us are lawyers. Some of us are in construction. Some of us we have different backgrounds, but we kind of have the same spirit, and we want to see the state get better, and we need to make the state more affordable because Louisiana is hemorrhaging people, and we're going to lose a congressional seat in 2032 if we don't change the course of what's happening in Louisiana. So, we're all committed. We weren't recruited. A lot of us gotten in our respective races on our own, and there is a kindred spirit to reform this state, make things more affordable, make our state much more business friendly, and be a departure from the politics of the past that's cast a shadow over this state for about over a century now. We want to do things different, and I think this class is different because of how we came about running for office and what motivated us. And while we have different backgrounds, we all kind of have the same goal.
Speaking of those goals, and we got State Representative Michael Bayham with us. He's coming to us from St. Bernard Parish. Speaking of those goals, one of those goals does have to be a budget. It is a fiscal session. Insurance is going to rule the day, obviously, but how much work needs to be done to make up ground that was lost by Constitutional Amendment number 2 not passing?
This year, not that great.
Good.
And a lot of that credit goes to Speaker DeVilliers, who's a phenomenal speaker, and President Cameron Henry on the Senate side. So the good news is things aren't as dire this year, but we do have to work on the fiscal stuff. And I would imagine there will be another fiscal package. I made a suggestion after the defeat of the one in March, which I predicted was going to happen, unfortunately, and it happened at a more spectacular level than I could have anticipated, but that we would potentially have another opportunity to address things, but our presentation has to be better. We cannot mix different elements that have nothing to do with each other with the voters. Look, people like steak, people like ice cream, people like pizza, but they don't like them together between 2 pieces of French bread. We need to have something broken out where the voters can feel like they're not having the the rug, the wool pulled over their eyes, and that they could digest these proposals in not a complicated fashion, because we have to win the public trust back. And that's an important aspect of governing, that you just can't assume people are going to vote a particular way just because they have an R by their name. That's ridiculous. Louisiana is not that partisan of a state, and that's part of our nature. And that's part of our culture. And look, I mean, we had a very conservative Republican for 8 years. Then we had John Bell for 8 years. Now we have another conservative Republican. A Republican win is not a gimme in Louisiana. We are not Texas in that respect. And I think this is the first year we've had every Republican, every statewide elected official is a Republican. That's the first time in Louisiana history we've had that. So, we have to earn that trust. So we've got to present things in a way where the people can see that we're dealing with them squarely and plainly, and that there's no hidden, language or hidden agenda or small print. And I think if we do that, then I think the public will embrace what we're trying to do.
I got to jump in, Mike, because I completely disagree with you. Y'all did not lose the trust of the public. Y'all are the freshman class. Y'all are new. The people who jacked up the state constitution over the course of the last 50 years, they're the ones that lost the trust, because you have the title state representative. You're taking on that responsibility, and I appreciate it. But you didn't do this. Emily Chenevert didn't do this. Roger Wilder didn't do this. The newbies in the state legislature did not do this. The ones who jacked up the Constitution for 50 years were arguing against constitutional amendment number 2. The ones who lost the trust were the ones who were actually trying to shoot down what y'all were doing. That's why it made for such an uphill battle.
We've had a legacy of distrust that that should have been appreciated in our presentation.
Fair.
Look, the proposals we did were fine, but there was clearly a tone deafness in the way it was handled. And look, people have a right to be suspicious of our state government. Look at how many statewide officials we've had go to jail. I mean,
yeah, they all wrote that Constitution back in '74 too.
Right. So if we show up with something that does 50 different things in one sentence on the ballot, people are going to be rightfully suspicious. We need to do a better job presenting this to the public and recognize the reality that, hey, Louisiana has a past. We need to be mindful of that when we're presenting, very complicated proposals to the public. And, I knew real quick, a little anecdote, and I pushed amendment number 2 very hard. And I think Julie Emerson did a fantastic job working so hard for that. And, I think it's a shame it didn't work out, because Julie is really one of our great leaders in the legislature. But I knew we were doomed on this one anecdote. So we had the Crawfish Fest in St. Bernard, and someone came up to me and talking about the amendments, and one of my colleagues just happened to be there, and we're going back and forth. And finally, after 5 minutes of me explaining it, said, you know what? You're right. You changed my mind. I am going to vote for amendment number 2. Well, my colleague sitting there with a smile said, oh, man, you see that? We changed our mind. I said, yeah, it took me 5 minutes of one-on-one conversation to sell it. I can't do that with 400,000 Louisiana voters within the next week and a half.
Yeah, no.
The distrust is there. We have to recognize it, and we need to build our messaging and our style and our crafting of the proposals around that cynicism. We don't have to like it, but we do have to recognize it.
I know. I'm over here trying to have your back, because you didn't do it.
Look, I'm not saying what we did was bad. I'm just saying that the policy was good, but the politics was not so good, and we need to be as cognizant about the politics as we are the policy.
Yep. Yeah, with too many entrances to the hen house were left open on this one for the fox to get inside. He is State Representative Mike Bayham. We need to get to your bills. Let's get you back right after Easter, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Hopefully we'll have some good progress made. Thanks, Brian. Take care.
I appreciate it. Thank you, as always. We missed ABC News. I don't care. That's going to get me fired up over and over again, because stop. Ooh, local news, traffic, weather. Baton Rouge Area Foundation is next. compliment him. He's trying to jump on his goddamn grenade. I always have trouble with how much of my audience has heard me on this shit before and how many people are just tuning in. Because if you're just tuning in, it's a great rant because I make sense and I'm pretty well read on this. If you've heard it before, it gets tiresome. I don't want to be the tiresome guy. So about a week ago. And it is. And it keeps coming up. I had Emily Schneider and Gabe Furman in here. And I went off on it then. And then like before that, it was the day after. No, actually the week after March 29th, after we voted it down, it was every day. Yep. And I don't care. I needed to be repeated. Look, the rule in advertising is like when you're sick of hearing your commercial, someone's hearing it for the first time. So it's not burnt yet. So I do need to remember that.
12.
Yeah.
No, that's right. That's right. Also fun, the more you do it, the better.
Fine-tuned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hence talking about playing Baton Rouge today.
Right? Is it .com?
Mm-hmm. We have .org too.
There it is.
Yeah, it's okay.
How are things at Braff?
Man, we're good.
Have y'all moved to the new digs yet?
Not till August.
Okay.
Yeah. Construction is underway. It's exciting. A much bigger space. We get about 50% more space.
That's awesome.
Cut our rent in half.
Can't go wrong there.
It's a win. It's just, and the space is more convenient. You know, right now you have to ride an elevator up to the 9th floor, or go through at the IBM building.
I thought y'all were on 4th.
We sold that like 12 years ago or 9 years ago.
No shit.
Yeah. It still has a plaque outside.
Yeah.
It says the Baton Rouge area.
It does.
Yeah. No, we're
because every time I leave Mathurns, I see it.
Yeah, I know. It's so sad.
When do y'all go take down the damn sign? Time to get a look at your forecast. Here is WBRZ meteorologist Emma Kate Cowan. I had no idea.
I know. That's staying there.
See?
Forever.
All right.
See, you'll know that's like we're in the shadows. You think we're there. We're actually not. Across the street. Yeah. When we build the permanent building in a few years, we'll take the sign.
Okay.
We'll get a new sign.
It's that the new sign's not a problem. The old sign is the misleading. Oh. 738 Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. State Representative Mike Bayham wants to cut income tax on tips and overtime. That's where we were supposed to. The whole segment was supposed to be down that path. 16 minutes worth of interview. Nary a mention. I'm not taking all the blame, though. He set me off. Anyway, I'm not going to let it spill over into this segment. We have 12 minutes with Chris Meyer from the Baton Rouge Area Foundation. He's got me fired up in a different way, though, because Plan Baton Rouge 3 is what? We're up to task 2 right now, right?
Yeah. Look, we are here today announcing our first public convening that'll happen here in a couple of weeks, April 30th. That's a Wednesday at 5 p.m. The Louisiana Art and Science Museum. This is our first opportunity to invite the entire public in. Everyone is welcome. There'll be lots of kind of engaging opportunities during that meeting to understand what is Plan Baton Rouge 3, what's happened in these first 2. If you've never heard of them before, you can learn about that, but you can also begin to put your stamp on this next plan of how will we change the skyline and the physical amenities here in downtown Baton Rouge.
All right, let's start with that. What were the first 2?
Yeah, so Plan Baton Rouge 1, 20 years ago. This was really the first time our community. I mean, let's continue over from your rant before. There are great signs of when our business, our public sector, our nonprofit sector come together and get big things done. And so This was back in the late 90s. A group of civic leaders got together and they really focused on how do we make our downtown more coherent? How do we lean on the history? And how do we invest in new ways? The Capitol Park was originally back then. People think it's been there forever. It was actually a major move by state government to bring all of its sort of government buildings, office headquarters to downtown. That was about $500 million in public investment.
Yeah.
Over the next 20 years, that spurred more than $3 billion of private sector response. And that's exactly what we're focused on in Plan Baton Rouge 3.
This would be, you're talking primarily about, and this isn't like the evolution of 3rd Street or all of Davis Rohr's work to reinvent downtown. You're talking about Mike Foster's work to move all that you had. State buildings were just all over the place.
That's right.
I remember the implosion of the old Department of Education building. Like this was, golly, how that was the 90s. That was that long ago?
It was that long ago. But it began to build in us. I think something we need to be really proud of here in Baton Rouge is there became a culture. There became a kind of a muscle that was built that we come together, we plan, we focus on that, and then we execute. And we can show along the way over the last 20 years we've gotten stuff done. Now we're a few years behind in getting this 3rd plan going. There was a little global pandemic and other issues affecting us. But look, we're at a great point. You've got new leadership at the state. You've got new leadership in our mayor's office. You've got new leadership here in the Metro Council. You've got a lot of sort of interested parties coming together. I'm new in my role. You got a new head of the DDD, a new head of BRAC, new head of Visit Baton Rouge. So all of us kind of coming together, working in new ways to put a new stamp, a fresh stamp here on downtown Baton Rouge.
All right. What are some of the early ideas? I mean, we know about the River Center.
Yeah. Well, let's actually get to the real front porch, the river itself. That is the founding of Baton Rouge. And, if you go back more than 250 years, you really see the early exploration of sort of the high point here on the river. That was the entryway into what became now our community and our city. And so really in this plan, we've kind of flipped it where in all of our images, you're really going to see the river as the front porch, as the front door to downtown. And we're really going to start there. And so this plan is going to ask the public starting on April 30th, what do you want to see along the river? What needs to exist? There's a lot of other river communities. I was in Memphis not long ago, and they've invested over $70 million in a riverfront park that really allows it to, when the river's high, it's able to deal with that. But it's created this kind of linear experience that we have some natural barriers to that with the railroad track and other things, but other communities have figured out creative ways to get beyond those things and activate that riverfront. So that's going to be kind of top of the list. 2, as you mentioned, will be the River Center. And then we're going to identify at least 4 other catalytic sites that can be developed. Hopefully one of those is really focused on young people, college students, and others, getting them to be downtown in some material way. And so I'm excited, but we really want to hear from the public and see what they want to see in this next plan.
So as far as the riverfront's concerned, me and Patrick Mulhern got it solved. I don't know if you were listening when he was on, but we're going to build out a Louisiana Entertainment Hall of Fame with a park to go along with that. Park is be full of like, amusement park style, like not just like a park, but like amusement park style with rides, all themed out for Louisiana. Then you get the Film and Music Hall of Fame together, all built out on the riverfront.
Love it.
We got it. We got you solved. Funding is next. We'll move to funding. I'm
Wait,
sure.
no, I thought you already had it solved.
No. We have the idea solved.
Oh, you have the idea solved.
That's where we kind of dropped. We dropped off after
Perfect.
that.
Well, this is
segment
good,
ended.
No, this is still the idea stage, so all
Right.
ideas are welcome.
Yeah.
Phase 3 is going to be about actually figuring out how we fund this.
No, I don't do that. I just throw out
But
ideas and I run away.
let's stay in the happy place today, which is we can dream.
Right.
We can dream.
So where are we dreaming? Where are our public events? Where are our public feedback meetings?
Yeah, so the first one's going to be at the Louisiana Art and Science Museum Wednesday, April 30th. You can go to planbatonrouge.com to learn about that, to sign up. There'll be more media alerts going out starting this week. But then we're going to start to show up in places where people already are. So
Right.
you'll see us last night at the Barack's second home kind of meeting where legislators are sort of welcomed into Baton Rouge kind of officially. We were out there talking to the legislators about this opportunity. We're going to be at the farmers markets regularly. And so other activities, we want to show up where you are. So if you have an event that you'd love to have more information, a representative come out and talk about Plan Baton Rouge 3, we want to go everywhere. And the other thing I'd say, Brian, is this is a regional plan. This downtown belongs to everyone, not just who lives in downtown or works in downtown, but belongs to everyone in our parish. It belongs to everyone in our 9-parish region. Frankly, this is where the state legislature comes to get its business done. So we think of this as really a downtown for our entire state, if you will, which makes this next plan exciting because we're going to hopefully spark some real new investments, some new highlights, maybe like this Hall of Fame. But we also know there's going to be so many other ideas and interests investing on top of that. And that's what really makes this thing go.
We get Chris Meyer in from the Baton Rouge Area Foundation. Mapping this out, how long does the dream phase last?
Yeah, so really now and through about midsummer is the chance to get all the input we can. At that point, we're really going to turn to narrowing in what are 5 to 7 real tangible ideas that could come with both credible partnership, real funding, real plans to get around whatever kind of roadblocks might be there, whether those be physical or those be policy. That's what we're going to work through because this ultimate plan is going to give us a playbook to activate at least 5 sites and the riverfront for this next phase. And then obviously we welcome lots of more interest and partnership from others who have a dream and a plan for updating a business, a restaurant, or whatever the case may be.
How big of a part is downtown adjacent to downtown?
Huge. One of the things I was reviewing yesterday, and really this gets to the point about linkages into downtown. It on average takes an LSU student, unless they're driving their own car, which most of our traffic is driven by cars here. It takes an LSU student about 35 minutes to get from LSU to downtown. It takes a student from Southern about 55 minutes.
35 minutes?
If they're riding Tiger Trails or if they're riding one of our public buses, it really limits that. So you think about a lot of our younger college students that may not have a car yet. We've got to make this plan accessible to those corridors so we can make that connection faster. Again, we want to drive people. We want to connect people into downtown as swiftly as we can and hopefully give them a reason to stay here, live here. One of the other things that we looked at some of our peers around the country, Little Rock, Birmingham, Montgomery, for example. We really have an opportunity to raise our residents and our density of residents in downtown. We think we can triple the number of residents in downtown. And that's something this plan is going to look at. How do you do it? What incentives are needed? But this is an exciting moment because it's a muscle we have built as a community to bring all of our sectors together, dream, and then plan, and then get stuff done.
There's different challenges with each different adjacent to downtown, right? It's like Nicholson Drive, I feel, is ripe for the pickings. That's going to be the easiest one, right? That's just filling in and building, right? That's whatever's to come on Nicholson, connecting directly to LSU. Awesome. Highland Road, a little more difficult.
Yeah, I think with all of these, it's really to your point. It's about focus, right? We, as you know, at the Baton Rouge Area Foundation, have been really focused on the Nicholson corridor. There's some exciting announcements coming from our partners over at LSU. They're going to spark, I think, a lot of development along Nicholson. But when you create a focus and a plan that you can actually execute, we've seen in other cities that having a focused corridor then spills over naturally over time. we cannot spread like peanut butter. We really have to
All right.
focus.
We got a minute and a half left, but I want to keep with
Yeah.
that because take it to the east side of downtown. Once you get under 110, Government Street, a lot of attention's been paid there. What about the other corridors that come in? Or we're going to see crossover between Plan Baton Rouge 3 and the Florida Boulevard Corridor project?
100%. Yeah. The first thing we started with was like, there are plenty of plans.
So bullish on that.
Don't reinvent the wheel here.
Yeah.
Connect those in, make them linked. I mean, interestingly, again, sometimes it takes an outsider to sort of show back to you what you actually have. They said, look, I mean, yeah, the interstate was built, cut through these neighborhoods, but the reality is the height of it, you really can get through to kind of downtown east. And so this plan, I imagine, is going to help articulate, using the Florida Master Plan and others, how we can really make some modest investments just to open that corridor up, make it feel safer, more alive, more connected.
Now, the hardest part is on the north side of downtown because you've got an outlet on Scenic. Okay, that's great, but you've got the Capitol Lake there. You've got the rivers on one side, obviously, which takes Exxon the whole way through. So that makes it harder to build out because it's already built in.
Yeah, I think again, it's like where are the nodes we can focus on. I think the state is a major player here. They're doing a facilities audit now of what their landscape looks like. Let's focus on how that kind of investment can spur others. Something along the river next to the Queen, I think, is really, really important. You'll see a focus on that, and our planners are already looking at that. And then finally, I'd mentioned Memorial Park. There's huge interest in investment that could go there in a major public-private partnership. We're bullish on that. I think you have to have each of these kind of with their own plans catalyzed, but then stitched together, and that's Plan Baton Rouge 3.
He is Chris Meyer from the Baton Rouge Area Foundation. April 30th at the Arts and Science Museum will be the next available opportunity for input at 5 p.m. Always appreciate the time.
Thanks,
sir.
Brian.
Thank you. We're at 750 at Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. We blew right past your money now. Not even sorry, because that was awesome. We're not done by any stretch of the imagination. We're going to talk with folks from the Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center about some new technology that they've got. Dr. Chris Schneider is going to join us in our next hour. And I've got another, I'm still waiting on full confirmation here, but something cool is coming up at Our Lady of the Lake later on today. We're going to talk about that in our next hour as well. Of course, this day in history is going to kick off the next hour. Right now, let's take a quick break, check traffic. We're coming back next on Talk 107.3. Perfect. Well done. No, well done. Very good.
You should come.
On April 30th?
Yeah.
What day of the week is that?
It's a Wednesday. Now we'll have a pre-event at 4 if that's easier on your schedule. But we're doing members of the foundation are going to kind of can get a sneak peek and then be invited to stay for the public event.
It's going to 100% depend on my daughter's AAU schedule. She should be done with volleyball by then. It should just be basketball.
Yeah. Well.
So if her practice is late enough, I'll come in the early thing. If her practice is early, I'll drop her off and I'll pick her up in the back end.
Cool.
So one way or the other.
Yeah.
But yeah, the as much work has been done
Yeah.
that neighborhood, like this from Bayham, I'll tell you exactly the streets. This nasty little quadrant from the 12th to 17th, from North Boulevard to Government Street. You see so many shootings within that one little spot. It's so well, not even from 12th. You ain't closer to the railroad tracks.
What? Find the slide. Sort of looking at the property that's owned over there. So one of the things we're going to do is
And make sure we're You know what you don't have to reinvent in downtown Baton Rouge? Matherns. Nestled in between 3rd and 4th Street. They got an entrance on both sides. The sidewalk entrance on 3rd, the parking lot entrance on 4th. It's right there by Main. In fact, the Baton Rouge Area Foundation's old headquarters used to be right behind Matherns. And when they moved into downtown, I believe it was part of, I want to say it was phase 2 or plan BR2. When they moved into downtown, overnight success. Like overnight became a staple of downtown. As you grow residential in downtown Baton Rouge, Matherns grew along with it. Full service grocery store in downtown. And, oh, by the way, the other end of that corridor, all right, if you move from downtown up Nicholson, you'll find Matherns again. This time, Nicholson Gateway Shopping Center, right there across the street from Tiger Stadium. Yes, on LSU's campus, but open to everyone. It's not just for students. And now Matherns has moved back into their OG location on Highland, just west of Kenilworth Boulevard. Used to be Kenilworth Supermarket back in the day, but the family you love and the prices you miss have come back home to Highland Road by Kenilworth with Matherns. If you frequent any of those locations, you might want to download the Matherns Rewards app. Take advantage of earning cash towards more groceries every time you shop. You get the coupons every single week. You get the deals of the week, the specials, all of it with the Matherns Rewards app, and it's good at all 3 locations. All right, we got a couple minutes until we hit news at the top of the hour. I wanted to, within this time, you've cut 3. All right. Landry cut 3, if you don't mind. One of the things the governor referenced when it comes to reforming insurance in this upcoming session is getting rid of the Housley presumption. What is the Housley presumption, you ask? Well, I'm pretty sure he explains it in pretty decent detail.
We should eliminate the presumption of injury without evidence of a pre-existing condition and other causes. Injuries claimed in an accident should be proven, not assumed. Your former colleague, Richard Nelson, proposed a bill to address this, which was also vetoed by the last governor. I look forward to signing it as quickly as you could send it up.
Everybody's hung up on the areas where we all disagree with the governor. Or I shouldn't say we all, that's presumptive of me. Everyone's hung up on the areas where we disagree. But getting rid of the Housley presumption is one that a lot of people are on board with. And the reason for it is it causes undue bills to get stacked on top of bills. Accidents end up costing more as a result of it. And insurance companies take note. If you've had a bad back for, a couple dozen years, you get into a car accident, you have to claim that bad back happened there. Oh, herniated a disc in my car accident. No. You've had that for years, Podna. Now, I don't know how you go about proving it one way or the other. I don't know how you go about disproving something happened in an accident versus it having been around before without violating HIPAA. I don't know the how on that end, but I know when it comes to the what and the why, everybody's on the same page. And I do like the fact that things are starting off with attention being paid to the areas of disagreement, but we're full throttle on everything where we do agree. That's got to lead to some results. And it just going in with full optimism, that's got to lead to some results. All right, we got news coming up. Hour 3 is next. It's 8 o'clock. Oh, awesome. Oh. It has been a busy, busy morning, y'all. Oh, where are we at? Where are we at? Where are we at? That's funny. Yeah, giddy up. (806) Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Hour 3 coming your way right now. We're at 63 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge. Gonna be a little bit cooler to start off your day today. Busy hour this hour. Well, say that it's one way or another. It's gonna be a busy hour this hour. We're talking about new tech over at Mary Bird Perkins in our next segment. We got this day in history coming up in just a little bit. And then I'm waiting on something on the back end of the show that I hopefully got confirmed. Something cool coming up at our Lady of the Lake later on today. I tell you what, before we hit this day in history, got to take 60 seconds to remind you about the Baton Rouge Metro Airport. FlyBTR.com is a website. FlyBTR.com can take you just about anywhere. Most definitely can take you to our nation's capital. Direct flight daily goes to Washington, D.C., goes to Reagan National. So not just D.C., but right in the heart of it. Comes home in the evening. Get your work done. Get your business done in our nation's capital. Same day. Sleep in your own bed at night. Could not be more convenient. Hop on flybtr.com for all the information. And while you're there, if you're mapping out your family's summer vacation, you know, you don't want to go all Griswold, put the whole family in the family truckster there and go cross country to Wally World. No. Fly. And when you take into account the convenience of flying out of your own backyard, BTR is so worthwhile. When you take into account supporting a local business, it's really over the top. FlyBTR.com. This day in history. Let's roll. John, you know what?
What?
I don't think I've given out the new address for 5-Star Printing and Signs yet, have I?
Oh, you've mentioned that they were
moving. They moved, yeah.
But
I went last week. I went and broke bread with our boy Danny.
Nice.
Yeah, we went over to. You been to the La Crouere in Denham?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
been
stuff.
there?
Yeah.
Huh? Had me a salad with like shrimp in it. It was fine. It was great. It was wonderful. But yeah, they've moved. 115 Aspen Square. 115 Aspen Square. Now you might be saying to yourself, hey, I recognize Aspen Square. Why do I recognize Aspen Square? Big Mike's. You know Big Mike's? Everybody knows Big Mike's. Right next door. If you're looking at Big Mike's, if you're standing right at the front of Big Mike's and you're looking at it, look to your left. You'll see 5-Star Printing and Signs. Could not be more conveniently located at this point. 115 Aspen Square, right off Range Avenue. All right. What happened?
Yeah. 1861 Federal Army of 75,000 volunteers is mobilized by President Abraham Lincoln at the start of the American Civil War today.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah.
Not the only time you hear about Lincoln today.
It's not. 4 years later, he dies 9 hours after he is shot by John Wilkes Booth.
Yeah,
while attending the play.
We skipped this day in history yesterday, right?
We did.
Because that was the day he was shot.
Yes.
Yeah. Imagine that.
Oh.
Taking 9 hours to die after getting shot in the head.
That's terrible.
And with the headache.
Right. Suffering.
You know, when John Wilkes Booth jumped from Lincoln's box up there on the stage, you know what he yelled?
What?
Sic semper exceteran. Not really.
No,
it was sic
really.
semper tyrannis. But Lincoln could have used the Excedrin to be sure. Did they have headache medicine in 1865?
I'm going to do some research.
Yeah.
1912. The Titanic sinks at 2:20 a.m. off Newfoundland as the band plays on with a loss of between 1,490 people and 1,635 lives.
Yes. And we all know Rose was a B because she could have moved over. There was room in the door. There was room in the door
to survive.
I tell you what, though. Have you ever taken an ice bath?
I've taken cold baths, Brian, but never an ice bath. Never an ice bath.
Invigorating, to be sure. Love me an ice bath. A cold plunge.
Right.
Love me a cold plunge.
Mm.
So, yeah, tragic that Leonardo DiCaprio as Jack. Tragic he dies, for sure. But those first couple minutes in that water, so good for you.
Oh, for sure.
So I know ultimate tragedy for everybody on the Titanic that died.
Yes.
But those first couple minutes,
they were like,
it was beneficial.
This is great.
So refreshing.
But we're not going to escape this.
No. This is the point. This is a drop-off point.
Yeah.
After about 7-8 minutes, you're
like,
like,
oh, this isn't so bad, right?
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, now
I'm getting cold, Rose.
Yeah.
I'm getting cold.
That's how that works.
Mm.
And she's like, I can't move over.
Hey, speaking of deaths, 1945, the 34th U.S. President, FDR, buried in the grounds of his Hyde Park home in New York State.
How about it?
1955, Ray Kroc opens the first McDonald's. fast food restaurant in Des
Seriously?
Plaines, Illinois.
Okay, so Titanic sinks.
We go to
Lincoln dies.
Yep.
McDonald's opens.
Yeah.
Glad something good happened.
That's it. That's it. Fantastic movie, by the way. Ray Kroc portrayed by Michael Keaton
You're
in
not
the movie.
Yeah, you're
So
not
good.
done, by the way. You're not done with the tragedies for today.
Oh, really? What
No.
else we got?
2013,
Okay.
Boston
Go ahead.
Marathon.
Yep.
The Boston
Today.
Marathon bombing was today.
That was.
So Titanic sinks, Lincoln dies,
Oof.
Boston Marathon, and you could use a quarter pounder after all that.
I'm telling you. You know what else we need, Brian? Comedy. Today in 1990, the sketch comedy TV series In Living Color premieres on Fox.
How you live it?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So we need.
I still know all the words to that theme song.
Really?
Heavy D, yeah.
Nice.
Oh yeah. There was nothing more 90s than In Living Color.
Oh man.
I mean, you had the Wayans brothers, but the Wayans
Yes.
brothers weren't even where it was at. You had David Allen Greer.
Oh,
You had
yeah.
Tommy Davidson. You had Jim freaking Carrey.
Jim
Are you
Carrey.
kidding me?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
Oh man, but the Wayans brothers,
Right?
that Wayans family is just
And then
mega
oh,
talented.
and then Jamie Foxx came on board.
Oh yeah,
Think about the level of
Ugh.
stardom that came out of that one show.
insane.
All right.
Insane.
Birthdays.
Leonardo da Vinci today.
Oh,
Country music superstar Chris Stapleton as well.
okay.
Comedian Seth Rogen. Let's
Uh.
see who else. I had one more. Where's he at?
You had two Emmas.
Emma Watson, was it?
Yeah.
Watson today.
And Emma Thompson.
Emma Thompson as well. Thomas F. Wilson, who played Biff in
What?
Back to the Future as well today.
All right. So if you've never seen Biff do stand up,
Oh, it's good stuff.
he plays a song about being Biff.
Yes.
Yep.
That was circulating on social media for a while.
It was.
It's
Very
good.
recently, in
Yeah.
fact. Definitely worth the watch.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Of course, deaths today. Abraham Lincoln. What
Wait,
about
do I not get to do the birthdays
Oh,
too?
I'm sorry.
No, because we have two LSU boys born today.
Hey, what we got?
Or running back Daryl Williams and defensive tackle Chad Lavallee.
Okay.
Two really good ones.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So as I mentioned in deaths, but then you have R. Lee Ermey.
No kidding.
Yeah.
All right.
Drill
See, everybody
sergeant
knows
himself.
him from
Full Metal Jacket.
Full
right?
Metal Jacket's where everybody knows him from, or Saving Silverman,
Saving Silverman.
or Fletch Lives.
oh man.
And my point
He's in a
here is,
couple
while
things.
he was so badass as a drill sergeant,
Yeah.
the guy's funny side was amazing.
I bet.
Yeah.
Most people like that. That have that really stern, like we talked about deadpan, just
Right.
deadpan delivery. that could
Deadpan and
just-
perfect timing.
Yeah. Amazing stuff. He was also in a movie. You remember, speaking of throwing it back to the Future, The Frighteners with Michael J. Fox. It's The Frighteners. I
That's
know.
a deep cut.
Deep cut. He was in that. I remember that.
All right. Anybody else died? Because I got.
No, not on my end.
All right. So Brian Dennehy,
Yeah.
known for Alabama Stadium.
Yes.
We got. He died on this day. Pol Pot died on this day in 1998. How bad does that throw off your timelines of world history?
Right.
That Pol Pot died in 98. It just takes me right back to Coach Sears' history class. And that was all I had. And it's tax day. It's
It
your
is
national
tax
day
day.
today.
Yes,
We're
it
at 8:15 to Talk 107.3 FM. We're running a little bit long. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we've got Dr. Chris Schneider next.
All right. Yes, sir. Dr. Schneider. Okay. Just checking on you. Yeah. We had to get through a segment this day in history. And so, yeah, but we'll have you on here shortly. Thank you. All right.
So way back in the day when me, Moscona, and Josh Innes all worked over at Clear Channel, some of the best radio in the history of Baton Rouge never happened because it was all in the bullpen outside the newsroom by the WJBO and the Score. And the idea of so Alabama plays at Bryant-Denny Stadium. So I don't know whether it's attributable to Moscona or Josh. I don't remember which one of the two of them first said it was Bryant-Denny Stadium instead of Bryant-Denny Stadium. But the three of us started calling it that. And they started calling it that. They had a 1-hour show called The Fastest Hour.
Oh, come on.
And people were losing their minds. They're like, you're an idiot. It's not Bryant-Denny. And the madder they got, the more we would all want to do it.
Oh, man.
So anytime I could slip that in here, I mean, I know I don't have a sports show, but anytime I could slide that in over here, I'm totally gonna.
Oh, my gosh. That's funny.
Over there at Bryant-Denny Stadium.
Yeah.
And I just slid it right past you. You didn't even notice.
No.
Yeah.
Didn't even.
You say things if you say something with authority, people just don't even question.
Just being in it.
Bryant-Denny, he died on this day in 2020, namesake of Alabama's football stadium. Huh?
Like what?
Oh.
Sometimes you gotta let it marinate. You're like, wait.
Yeah,
show's over. It's an hour and a half
it's
later.
It's a little grenade.
Wait a minute.
It's a little grenade. You'd be driving home and be like, wait, that doesn't add up. Nothing about this adds up. Who is Electa? 818 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Per the Daily Report. Oh, I didn't see which day this was on. Let me scroll back up. Per the Daily Report, last Thursday, actually. Thursday before last. Cancer care at Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center is reaching new heights through its evolving partnership with the Swedish medical tech company Electa. New Electa technology is being implemented at the Cancer Center to reduce treatment times, increase the number of patients treated, and reduce the number of cancer treatments. Let's talk with someone about what this actually means in the real world. And for that, we turn to Dr. Chris Schneider from Mary Bird Perkins. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me.
No, glad to have you on. Glad to be talking about this. I love when we have advancements in Baton Rouge that kind of really plant our flag nationally and internationally as being at the forefront for just about, I don't want to say everything with cancer because there's so many that were ahead of us, but when we can do something that really shows we know what we're doing here and we're doing it better, I love to celebrate that. So tell me about Electa. Tell me about both the company and the technology.
Of course, yeah. So Electa is, they're a medical device manufacturer, and they specialize in making treatment machines for radiation therapy patients. So we primarily treat cancer using beams of high energy radiation to target tumors and destroy tumor cells. And while doing that, we want to avoid the healthy tissue around it as much as possible to reduce the risk of side effects. And Electa we've been partnered with Electa for quite a while, and recently we've expanded that partnership. But they're one of the foremost manufacturers of this type of device in the world, and they really supply cancer centers like Mary Bird Perkins all over the world.
So you want to target the cancer but protect the tissue around it. How specific, how precise can we get here?
So that's always evolving and always changing. But so recently here at Mary Bird Perkins, we've launched an adaptive radiation therapy program. So we have a device from Electa called the Electa Unity, and this combines an MRI scanner and a radiation therapy treatment machine. So for conventional radiation therapy, a patient will begin their journey by receiving what's called a planning scan, either a CT or an MRI. That lets us see the anatomy so that we can locate the tumor, target it, and make a personalized treatment plan to avoid the healthy tissue around it. And then that plan might be delivered over 5 to 30 individual treatments over the course of the patient's treatment. With adaptive radiation therapy on the Unity, we can acquire a new planning MRI every day immediately prior to treatment, so that any changes in the patient anatomy from a tumor shrinking because of the radiation it's received so far in the treatment, or if the internal anatomy has just shifted somewhat, especially in the GI or in the pelvis. All those internal organs they move a little bit day to day. So this gives us, an unparalleled ability and a brand new ability to really see the patient's anatomy every day and tailor the patient's treatment, not just to them specifically, but to the patient on the day of treatment.
All right, walk me through this a little bit better here. We got Dr. Chris Schneider from Meyer Perkins on with us. So there's an MRI pre-treatment. Like what's the real-time turnaround here? You go straight from MRI into the treatment? So there's...
So the Electa Unity, it's combined. It's one machine. So the patient comes in, we get them set up in the machine. It appears, it looks just like a normal MRI, really. Very similar to if anyone has ever had a diagnostic MRI.
Yeah.
The setup's very similar to that. But we acquire that MRI. The physician joins us in the room. They review the scan of the day. We make any changes that we need to make on an order of minutes. So we're talking the time scale of minutes. Then we re-optimize the plan to account for those changes and deliver, a new plan that's really tailored to the patient at the time of treatment, right? So this is sort of the next step in personalized medicine.
Let's talk about the patient's perspective here. Obviously, having that combined technology is going to help precision, to be sure. But when it comes to radiation therapy, let's talk about it. It's a recovery times. What does it take out of the patient when they go through this particular type of therapy? Because I think that's where Electa, when you talk about the precision, that's where you're really helping here, is on the back end.
Certainly, right. So radiation therapy, as with any medical procedure, there are certain side effects. Patients undergoing radiation therapy often report fatigue or upset stomach, things of that nature. We can really reduce those side effects in our adaptive radiation therapy program because we are, MRI is the gold standard of medical imaging. So if we can see the tumor better, then we can target it more precisely, and that's going to reduce those side effects. Additionally, being able to see the tumor better and target it much more precisely is going to allow us to condense a lot of treatments. So, for instance, prostate cancer, a typical course of treatment might require 28 individual treatments. The patient might have to come in 28 times to receive radiation. Whereas with the Unity, because we can see everything so well and we can be very confident that we're avoiding the sensitive organs nearby, we can treat it in 5 fractions.
28 down to 5.
That's right.
That is a remarkable number.
And we're very excited. And at Mary Bird Perkins, our mission is to improve survivorship and reduce the burden of cancer. And for us, that means we want to make sure our patients have the best quality of life during and after treatment. So we're really trying to do everything we can to improve the patient experience and to make sure that they can, finish their treatments as soon as possible and get back to spending time with their families.
We're talking with Dr. Chris Schneider from Mary Bird Perkins about Electa. All right, this puts us in pretty rare air, or at least a pretty small club. How many folks or how many different facilities have this?
So there are only about 15 sites in the United States that have this technology. And we recently, in October of 2024, expanded our partnership with Electa. So we received this technology in December of 2023 is when we first started treating patients with this. Then last year, we expanded our partnership with Electa to make us an Electa reference site.
Okay.
So that's going to, that means that sites from people from other cancer centers around, the nation will have been coming to visit us to see what we're doing here, how we're using our equipment, how we've optimized our workflow so they can take that back and improve what they're doing at their sites. And it also means we're working more closely with Electa to develop, the different updates. These technologies are always being upgraded so that we're always on the leading edge of what's possible. And so we're really excited about that for the future of the program here at Mary Bird.
Love that. Now, it's one thing to have the technology, it's one thing to have the hardware, but what's the use of the car if no one knows how to drive it? The partnership with Electa, where does that put y'all in the mastery of the equipment?
It's an integral part of that, right? So we're working closely with Electa. Any product feedback we have, we have weekly calls with Electa that we discuss the machines. Anything that we think could be done better on their end, we let them know. And they've been an amazing partner, always making sure that they're ready to help us out and respond to our requests promptly. They appreciate the feedback, right? We're on the clinical side. We know what we're using the machines for, and so they need that feedback so that they can help make the machines work as best as possible for the people who are using them. And then additionally, here at Mary Bird, we're partnered with Louisiana State University. So we jointly run the medical physics graduate program with LSU. And I'm a graduate of that program. So we're also training the next generation of medical physicists and the next generation of technicians to make sure that, we have the most qualified people, on hand at all times.
Now, along with the new technology and the new equipment and whatnot, there's a research partnership here as well. And being one of the there's 15 now. Y'all were one of the first 10 in America to get it. Has there been any? I don't want to use the term unintended consequences, but new discoveries that along the way that maybe Electa didn't know what they were capable of that y'all have learned along the way.
I can't think of anything in particular, but certainly we have, research is sort of a long process.
Yeah.
But I have 2 graduate students in the LSU program, one master's student, Carson Matthews, and one PhD student, Richard Lazier. They're working with me. The student interest in the program has been really amazing, and something that, we knew that there would be interest in students in this new technology and this new type of cancer treatment, but it's really gone above and beyond what we've expected. We've got it's become a real feather in the cap of the graduate school program, and we just working with students is definitely one of the most rewarding parts of my day, and I really appreciate that we are getting to train them on the most up-to-date and leading-edge technology that's available. It's really a great experience for them.
Last one before I get you out of here, and I greatly appreciate your time this morning. What's next with the partnership? Where do y'all go from here?
So recently we hosted the Electa Adaptive Radiation Therapy Users Meeting for the North American wing. So we had cancer centers from across the continent send people here to observe what we've been doing. And we're just looking forward to, continuing that to really strengthen that relationship. Electa is always developing new technologies to help us treat patients, give patients the best treatments possible. And so we're working with them, letting them know what we need, and working with them in concert to make sure that, whatever they could develop, if it's beneficial for cancer patients, Mary Bird, wants to get it as soon as possible.
He is Dr. Chris Schneider with Mary Bird Perkins. I appreciate the update. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Absolutely. We're coming up on 8:30 at Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. John, get ready. My voice isn't there yet. Talk 107.3 FM welcomes comedian Rob Schneider to the Raising Cane's River Center Friday, May 16th for his
You Can Do It
tour. Register at talk1073.com and listen to this show for your chance to win tickets to the show. Plus, when you sign up to win online, make sure you subscribe to our Talk 107.3 Baton Rouge YouTube channel for an extra entry. Rob Schneider coming to town. You Can Do It is a big one, but where's Making Copies? I mean, it's the same guy, right? 8:30, Talk 107.3 FM, news, traffic, weather coming your way. I mean, he needs to go by Rocco's and be like, you like it a juice? You like, I get you more juice. I think the show's gonna be sold out, and that's gonna cost me. I was supposed to have an interview with him.
Oh man!
But if the show sells out, why promote it any further? All the tickets are gone, so you don't have to have him like.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Rob Schneider.
I know.
Rob Schneider.
And like most, I'm different with those interviews than, like, I'm not bragging on it, but like most morning radio hacks, they have like, they're just phoning it in. Like they have no clue what like Wayne's World 2, you know?
Right.
Yeah. It's not even challenging anymore. Yeah. but I love comedy and comedians, and I
Yeah.
dial in on that sort of shit.
Oh yeah.
Take it seriously.
Oh yeah, man.
Oh,
Rob Schneider. He golly, I think the first Rob Schneider movie I ever saw was Surf Ninjas as a kid. He was in that. That was like one of his first movies. It's like a teenager in that movie. I think Rob Schneider's played just about every race on film. He's done so many different everything, but I don't think he's ever gone blackface. But he's done everything from every ethnicity, every other ethnicity.
you like the juice?
So good.
Yeah, I'm gonna forward you a phone number.
Okay.
When we get into the next segment, I need you to call this guy. I don't know if this is gonna be a go or not, but we'll try. In the meanwhile, can I get? Oh, Kakapoo. 10, 11, and 12. Hey guys, doing some last second Facebook, doing some last second research for a segment because I didn't think I needed a segment here. Help me out. Okay. Spencer Callahan's got the helipad. Gordon McKernan has got the giant inflatables. What are some other like really over the top, some really obtuse things that the trial attorneys have here in Baton Rouge? Oh, Matt, I do want to get to your comment eventually. You said interesting that in all the developments connecting different parts of BR, no one seems to want to touch North Baton Rouge. That's not true. We didn't cover it enough in this last segment, but a stretch of the Plan Baton Rouge 3 goes up to Memorial Park. He talked about Memorial Park. So Memorial Stadium, Pete Goolsby Field, they're looking to build out an indoor facility there, and that's off of Fuqua at the foot of Plank Road. From there, Plank Road begins. So that stretches into North Baton Rouge, to be sure. All right, we're looking at the high of just 80 degrees today. It's actually going to be quite pleasant throughout the day, to be sure. No real chance of rain, but like there's a like almost a 10-mile-per-hour breeze rolling throughout the day today. It's going to be wonderful. This is Chamber of Commerce weather today with a high of 80. Tomorrow's high 81. We'll be back up to 85 by Thursday, 89 by Friday. Saturday, all the way through the first half of actually all the way through next week, there's some level of a chance of rain. 30% chance of rain on Saturday, 50-50 shot at rain on Easter Sunday, and that's going to stick around Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and at least Thursday. Right now, we're mostly cloudy and 65 in downtown Baton Rouge. Yeah. .837 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Got your lunch plans squared away yet? P.F. Chang's. You know where I'm sending you. I'm sending you to P.F. Chang's. Sesame beef is on the menu, and it is phenoms. Love it. When you get that crispy beef without losing any of the moisture or texture, or it's just a little bit of a crunch to it. I mean, the flavors are on point, right? But when you get the right crispness to the crispy beef, it's not full on like fried chicken, because it's beef, but it just brings something completely different to the game. And Chang's has got you covered. If you're looking for a healthy option on their menu, of course, the chicken lettuce wraps are there for you. They've got a ton of different bowls. If you want to go protein bowl, they've got you covered there. But whatever it is you're looking for lunch today, give P.F. Chang's a look. I'm a Mongolian beef guy, a sesame beef guy. Swear by it. But if you want to step away, go for the chicken lettuce wraps. That's fine. Firecracker shrimp is a great option as well. Comes with the sauteed vegetables that are along with it. Sauteed vegetables, and I don't know the name of the sauce with the sauteed vegetables. Oh my goodness gracious, so delectable. Over there off Corporate Boulevard in Town Center, look for the giant golden horse. It's P.F. Chang's. We are hoping to connect with someone about the miraclechildrens.org. I'm hoping to connect here. We're kind of doing this in real time. This is a very last second thing that we're setting up. There's a Louisiana man who started the Miracle Children's Foundation after his own son's battle with brain cancer. Coming up later on this morning, he's going to be handing out iPads to pediatric cancer patients with help from LSU's Will Campbell. So a week and 2 days before the NFL draft, this is what Will Campbell's going to be up to. It's coming up 10 o'clock this morning at Our Lady of the Lake, 8200 Constantine Boulevard. The foundation's mission is to enhance the lives of children fighting cancer. They're going to give out about 50 iPads this morning. And it looks like, we'll be able to connect right now. Give me one quick second, and we'll be good to go to talk about this. What is Children's Miracle Children's? What is the event today? Joining us now, what's his last name, John? Richard Newman is on the hotline right now. Mr. Newman, good morning. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Thank you very much.
Thank you for hopping on today. I just learned about this kind of last minute that y'all got a thing going on at Our Lady of the Lake at 10 o'clock this morning. Tell me all about it.
Yeah. So my son is a pediatric brain cancer survivor. When he was 15, he was given a 5% chance of surviving his cancer. And by the grace of God, he survived. And what he wanted to do was help. He saw so much in the 2 years that he was in the hospital, straight 2 years. He saw so much with the other kids, what goes on. He felt that he could help with other people kind of overlooking things. And the biggest thing is the mental health side, that he saw that the hospitals have to cure the cancer. If they don't cure the cancer, kill the cancer, then the child dies. So that's the most important thing. But children are taken away from everything when they have cancer. They're ripped out of their normal life, out of school. They're immunocompromised, so they're isolated. So it's very boring in the hospital for these kids. And I saw that with our son, and he had an Apple iPad. That made all the difference in the world. He was able to keep up with school, his classwork. He didn't get held back. He was out of school for a year and a half and wasn't held back because he was able to do everything on with the iPad. But what he found is a lot of the children that were on the floor with him, the statistics are the U.S. Cancer Society, 70% of families that have a child fighting cancer are on some form of government assistance. So being able to buy a $500 item that you would consider non-essential, basically, it's kind of tough for them going through the financial and emotional distress. Yeah. So our foundation started where we give these children Apple iPads, and they love it. A family, if anybody goes to our website, it's www.miraclechildrens.org and goes to the testimonials page. We've got 300 testimonials out of 1,000 basically we received of these parents just loving it. Anyway, what we do is we try and make the day really special for these children, and we end up getting athletes, famous, big time stars to hand out the iPads and give them to the kids. It just makes the day more special for both the children and the families. They take pictures. We've been very blessed. Last year, Jaden Daniels volunteered to hand the children iPads at Adelaide of the Lake Children's Hospital here in Baton Rouge. And it went fantastic. And this year, we're doing it with Will Campbell. At 10 a.m. this morning, we'll be handing out 50 Apple iPads to children fighting cancer at Adelaide Lake Children's Hospital. Just an incredible young man. Both Jaden and Will, we made one phone call to them, and we're in. And so we're just so grateful. But that's what we do. We try and brighten up the days of these children that are stuck in the hospital fighting cancer.
I mean, we're a week and 2 days from the NFL draft, and this is what Will Campbell's doing on a Tuesday in Baton Rouge. Like talk to me a little bit about his level of participation here. And you said one call and he was automatically in. Obviously, there's a lot on his mind right now. Just like Jaden Daniels last year, Will Campbell's going in the first round too.
Yeah, I mean, look, I cannot stress this enough. What type of an individual a person is from things like this. He was raised with from a great family. Obviously, the parents very involved because the kid literally just said, I called him up, never met him. I said, hey, Will, Rick Newman with Miracle Children's Foundation. Talked to about 2 minutes and explained what we were going to do at Olive Lake. And he said, I am all in. I've had dealt with some cancer in our family. And anything I can do to brighten up the day for these children, I'm in. I'm in from now on, he said, literally.
That's so awesome. That's so good.
Yeah. It goes, I think, Brian, it goes to what they're teaching at LSU. I mean, they've got a great group of coaches, great school. The kids they recruit there all have, are very philanthropic minded. So, and they understand that they have to kind of use their platform to try and make life a little bit better for others.
What's Our Lady of the Lake's role here?
They've been incredible. You've got Anne Marie Marmont, who is our contact, and Aaron Cox, and they just love it. I mean, they literally call us, hey, you coming back this year? I said, absolutely, wouldn't miss it. We're actually I'm going to talk to them today since we did it last year with Jaden and this year with Will. We're just going to make it an annual thing. Every Easter, we're going to come back here and give iPads to the children that are fighting cancer, fighting for their lives against cancer.
So the onus now is on LSU to keep pumping out first-round draft picks to hand them out.
I think I have I have our eye on our next target, and it might have something to do with rhymes with bus.
I definitely see where you're going there. He is Richard Newman. Hey, 10 o'clock this morning, 50 iPads being handed out. Will Campbell's going to be involved. Richard, I can't thank you enough for a couple minutes this morning. This kind of fell in my lap late last night, learning about miraclechildrens.org. It is fantastic work. When we post our little conversation here online, we'll go ahead and post the link to your website along with it. to make sure people can learn a little bit more about the backstory. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Look, we're not a self-funded foundation. We rely on the generosity and compassion of the public for donations. So every dollar we say counts. We've already handed out over 1,400 Apple iPads in the last 3 years to children fighting cancer. 400 here in Louisiana. So we're doing what we think is, we call it God's work, and I hate to say that because people, say it all, but really, if you see the smiles on these children's faces when they see these athletes give them iPads. I literally last year, a kid started to cry because he said, "Mom, Jaden Daniels just gave me an iPad."
It's so amazing.
That's how much it means to these kids.
So amazing. And you ever think about the numbers here and your website has the numbers, 15,000 plus children and adolescents newly diagnosed with cancer each year.
Yeah.
It's for a lot of us, it's there before the grace of God. And for those who are in it to have this moment of brightness. And then, like you said, it's not just about the iPad. Y'all include a lot of comfort and care along with this, that personal touch that, really makes Louisianans Louisianans.
Yeah, look, we're so grateful to the people at Olive Lake for allowing us to do this for their children. We're so grateful for people like Will and Jaden that just, take their time out of their day and spend 3 hours with these kids, and play games with them and just look, their families smile. Oh, by the way, I have to say, Raising Cane's is involved in this. They always come through. They come in, donate food. They're puppies. They always bring out people. And they are really, truly a one love type of a company. We just can't do it without their support either.
Amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. Great partnerships. He is Richard Newman. It is miraclechildrens.org is the website. The donate button's right there on the front page if you want to help them out a little bit. Richard, thank you so much for hopping on board today.
Brian, have a great day and happy Easter, man.
And to you as well. 848 at Talk 107.3 and rolling over to 849 at Talk 107.3 FM. Coach Beth Torina and the LSU Tigers continue their Texas road trip with a 3-game series against the Longhorns starting Thursday afternoon, 4:30 p.m., Friday afternoon, 4:30 p.m., Saturday morning, 11 a.m. That'll be done and home in time for Easter Sunday to be sure. But Beth Torina's Tigers looking to rebound after last week's being swept on the road at A&M. You could hear all LSU softball action right here on Talk 107.3 FM. Of course, Patrick Wright will be on the call for the LSU Sports Radio Network. Don't forget, while I'm teasing out some things, Live After 5 is back. Clock out and rock out with us this spring in downtown Baton Rouge for the free concert series. I tell you about Live After 5 to tell you there is no show this week. Good Friday downtown? No show this week. You'll join us Friday, April 25th as Fat Hat takes the stage from 5 to 8 p.m. Yours truly will be handling MC duties for that affair. Fat Hat after Pocket Chocolate. That was last week. All right, we're at 850 at Talk 107.3 FM. I wanted to do this thing on the insurance versus lawyers battle, so we'll cover that next. So another birthday happened today. Don't know if I should even mention it, but I don't need notes to talk about what happened in history on April 15th. Except the Boston Marathon was that. We were in high school in the 90s. So, yes, I know it's the day that Lincoln All right. Did we? Oh God. Did we have any takers on extravagant things that the trial attorneys in town have? All right, Baton Rouge. Okay, Matt says I heard about the Memorial Stadium part. Baton Rouge Airport. So first thing we got to do before beefing up the airport is move the fucking jail. Like a lot has been done around Howell Place, which was awesome. But we're kind of hamstrung. I mean, I would like to see more built up on the back side of the airport. The front side being the side closest to 110, right? It would be nice to see more on the back side of the airport. But it's just you're really hamstrung with economic development when it's like, hey, there's our jail. You get 10, 11, and 12? Okay. Oh, wait a minute. I might have grabbed the wrong. This might be the wrong one. Shit. This might be the wrong one.
You need me to pull some other cuts?
What?
You need me to pull some other cuts?
I don't know yet. Shit. What's this cut 13 sound like?
Let me get you
What about 14? That's not it either. No, I know what that one ends with. Can't be the same thing. Fuck. We're gonna have to do that one tomorrow. Go back to 10, 11, and 12. Oh, yeah, this is right. 856 Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. We're going to hand out the Moon Griffon here in just a little bit. Oh man, been a busy day today. Thanks to all of the guests who have hopped on board. Just phenomenal stuff throughout. Whether we're talking about Mike Bayham, State Representative Mike Bayham, who really threw me into a rant. In our last segment, Richard Newman talking about handing out iPads to children with cancer, pediatric cancer. Everything is just it's been a phenomenal day thus far, and it all comes on the heels of yesterday. We were out at the state capitol for the opening of the legislative session. Now, in stumping, leading up to constitutional amendment number 2 at the polls, and then leading up to the opening of the session, and then including in yesterday's speech to open the session, Governor Landry announcing his auto insurance reform plan, mentioning he wants to rein in the ability of injury lawyers. Not rein in, but really morph or change the way their advertising is approached. I look at it as an enhancement. To say if you're flashing a big check, you should know what your take home was on that, not just what the settlement was. But in describing all of his plans, the governor called out Morris Bart by name, saying that he was as sick of Morris Bart as he was of the lizard, referring to the Geico gecko. Bart points out that no state has ever passed a tort reform law that reduced insurance premiums.
And the insurance companies have said this will bring down rates. And he said only to find out time and time again that the rates didn't go down.
Only problem with that is they have. And shout out to State Representative Michael Mellerine, who's going to be our guest tomorrow, who cites examples from Florida. Your boy brought receipts. Auto premiums are falling with major companies, including Geico down 10.5%, Progressive down 8.1%, and State Farm down 6%, filing for rate reductions. Litigation over auto glass repairs plunged by 90% between the second quarters of 2023 and 2024. Florida's success may have inspired Georgia Governor Brian Kemp to introduce a package of tort reform last month. Citizens now plan to cut rates on average by 5.6 for 20% of policyholders. 4 of the state's top 10 carriers have filed for rate decreases. The governor said Florida had the lowest average homeowners premium increases in the nation this past year, just 1% compared to others who were going up by more. But Michael Mellerine brought receipts to the discussion. And this is in response to Morris Bart calling out Governor Jeff Landry, Tim Temple, and Blake Miguez, saying, where have the rates gone down? Well, Mellerine's response, Florida. Bart says he's afraid the only people who are going to suffer from any insurance reform are going to be the taxpayers.
I predict lawyers are still going to be advertising.
Of course,
insurance companies are still going to be charging the same premium as before, but the people of Louisiana will have just given up some of their rights.
I don't see how that's possible. Tell you what, it's a huge discussion and it's not going away anytime soon, but we're going away now. We'll be back at it tomorrow. Facebook. I tell you, I'm now triggered on 2 counts. I'm not the get angry guy. That's not who I am. I'm not the get angry guy. I don't want to be angry about shit like this. I damn sure don't want to be angry about Morris Bart. I DJ'd his niece's bat mitzvah years ago. She's probably in her 30s by now. You can't say that I DJ'd Morris Bart's niece's bat mitzvah. How about that? Huh? Me and Brent, my buddy Brent, and we dressed as the Blues Brothers. It was baller. And the chair dance is so legit. Any Hoosers. What the cut that I was looking for was Jeff Landry going off on, the insurance companies are going to pay celebrities millions of dollars to do their commercials. Well, first and foremost, the insurance companies are doing business in all 50 states. All right? Your lawyers are doing business here, and they've got every bit as much of disposable income as the insurance companies do. Where's that in the equation? Where's Morris Bart's courtside seats to see the Pelicans in the equation? Is there more prime real estate in Baton Rouge than what Gordon McKernan owns? And I'm not hating on either of them for that. I'm just saying if you're going to call out disposable income, call it out on both sides. Freaking Spencer Callahan has a helipad that you can see from the I-10 bridge. Don't tell me one side is making money and the other side's not. Oh, insurance companies making record profits. Oh, I'll remember that next time I see a freaking helipad while I'm stuck in traffic on the I-10 bridge. I'll remember that insurance companies are raking it in. I'm not the angry guy. I don't want to be that. And the thing is, I've met Gordon McKernan a couple times, and he's awesome. He's awesome at what he does. He is. But don't tell me you don't have disposable income when you've got an NIL army behind you of purple and gold. It's two sides of that coin. They're both making money. It's just a difference of opinion on how to stop making it off of our back. All right, we got to get out of here. We got Franz tomorrow. We got Michael Mellering tomorrow. Julia Letlow had to cancel for tomorrow. So we'll keep building out the roster. We'll keep building out the lineup. We'll talk to y'all tomorrow.